अस्सलामुअलैकुम। तो आज हम करेंगे फीमर बोन की एनाटॉमी। इट इज़ द लार्जेस्ट एंड स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट बोन ऑफ योर whole body as it is a weight bearing bone. So first we will do its anatomical position and side determination, then surfaces and borders, then we will go for muscle and ligament attachments. So this is head. So how can you determine its side determination? This is anterior side. You can see there are large condyle on the posterior side and rough ridge. It is also on posterior side. So this will be anterior shining and bright surface. So ये आपकी right leg की bone है. You can see head will articulate with acetabulum of hip bone and form hip joint. So it will this is right side bone of your leg, right femur. Now we'll go to its part. This is rounded head, neck, shaft and extended lower part. Head, neck, shaft and lower part. While head is round and circular, it is a groove called fovea capitis in which a ligament is formed, ligament of head of femur. Head is round, which will articulate with acetabulum of your hip bone and form hip joint. It is a small groove on the head called fovea capitis in which there is a ligament of head of femur. When we will come to neck, while this is shaft. On the back side you will see two trochanters, greater trochanter and small trochanter. While this is shaft, then comes to lower part. These are two condyles, medial condyle and lateral condyle. Medial on the head side, medial condyle and lateral condyle. Medial condyle is larger than lateral condyle. There is a space between two condyles called patellar surface because patella is attached and form knee joint on the lower end. While on the posterior surface of femur, there is a notch or a groove called intercondylar notch. Intercondylar notch. While we go on a upper surface, there is a large greater trochanter, small trochanter. There is a line which connecting both of them. While on the posterior surface there is crest which is connecting greater and lower trochanter. This is called intertrochanteric line. I will show you. Between greater trochanter and lower trochanter, a line is joining called intertrochanteric line. While on posterior surface there is most prominent groove which is called intertrochanteric crest. This is posterior surface, don't mix up. On posterior surface there is crest, while on anterior surface there is a line. Now we will go for border. This is anterior surface, you can show anterior surface, while this is posterior surface. Posterior surface has a ridge called linea aspera. It has two lip, medial and lateral lip. A ridge called line of aspera, it is two lip. While you go to lower part, these are called condyles, epicondyles. Medial epicondyle, lateral epicondyle. On the epicondyle there is a ridge which will form triangular shape. These two ridges are called medial intercondylar ridge, while this is called lateral intercondylar ridge. Medial intercondylar ridge and lateral intercondylar ridge. While now come to the upper part. So anterior surface, we were talking about surfaces. This is posterior surface, while on medial side you can say this is medial surface. Okay, now we'll go for ligaments and muscle attachments. Different types of muscle on the anterior surface. First we will do the muscles of anterior surface. There are three ligaments. Ligaments are easy, you can do it first. There is a ligament called ligament of capsule of hip joint. You know there is a hip joint, so a ligament will cover this area, neck wala area, capsule of hip joint ka ligament. Then there is a ligament on the greater trochanter. There is iliofemoral ligament, start from the ilium of hip bone and come to that point, femur. So it's called iliofemoral, while on lesser trochanter there is pubofemoral ligament. Iliofemoral ligament, pubofemoral ligament. While a capsule of हिप जॉइंट का लिगामेंट वो इसको होल पूरा सर्कुलर कवर करेगा. देन वी कम टू मसल अटैचमेंट. ऑन एंटीरियर सरफेस देयर मसल अटैचमेंट. ऑन द ग्रेटर ट्रोचैंटर देयर इज ए स्मॉल मसल कॉल्ड piriformis. Greater trochanter there is a muscle called piriformis. While on the lower trochanter side there is a muscle called psoas major, while on a posterior surface near to the psoas major there is iliacus, while on anterior surface psoas major piriformis. Greater trochanter पे piriformis और lesser trochanter पे psoas major. Just below the piriformis there is a muscle called gluteus minimus. Muscle. Piriformis, gluteus minimus muscle. Now we will do quadricep muscle, which contain vastus lateralis, vastus medialis and vastus intermedialis. You can see on this is the area of greater trochanter. So it will start from that vastus lateralis. It will start from that position and go to lateral lip of linea aspera. Start from anterior surface below the greater trochanter and go backward to the lateral lip of linea aspera. Similarly, on the lesser trochanter there is the origination of vastus medialis muscle, which similarly like lateralis muscle go backward on the medial lip of linea aspera. Vastus lateralis, vastus medius, while vastus intermedius comes on the shaft on the anterior aspect of femur. Vastus intermedius. I can show you vastus intermedius. जहाँ पे vastus intermedius खत्म होगा there are two head called articularis janus muscle. Articularis janus muscle. While on the lower side there is a ligament called ligament for a capsule of knee joint. Capsule of knee joint. नीचे knee joint तो उसका ligament यहाँ पे लगेगा. I will repeat the muscle of anterior aspect: piriformis, gluteus minimus, vastus lateralis, vastus medius, medialis, and vastus intermedius. While below the vastus intermedius there are two heads of articularis janus. Now we will do the muscle attachments on the posterior surface. You can see posterior surface is prominent as it has intercondylar notch and most prominent trochanters, greater trochanter and smaller trochanter. While on the muscles there is a gluteus medius on the greater trochanter, gluteus medius. While just below to gluteus medius there is a quadrate tubercle on which there is an insertion of quadratus femoris muscle. Gluteus medius, quadratus femoris. On the smaller trochanter, small trochanter, there is muscle called psoas major and iliacus. Psoas major and iliacus. Just below the iliacus there is a pectineal line on which there is a insertion of pectineus muscle. Pectineal line, insertion of pectineus muscle. This is psoas major and iliacus pectineus muscle. Gluteus medius, on the quadrate tubercle there is a quadrate femoris muscle. Just below the greater trochanter there is a gluteal tuberosity, on which there is an insertion of gluteus maximus muscle. Gluteus maximus muscle. Now we will go to muscle attachment from lateral to medial surface. Lateral to medial. So we will already learn there is a vastus lateralis on lateral side and vastus medialis on medial side. So start from lateral surface, there is vastus lateralis muscle, and then there come from gluteus maximus, ऑन द ग्लूटल ट्यूबरोसिटी पे इसका इंसर्शन, ग्लूटिस मैक्सिमस, यहाँ पे मैं वेस्टस लैटरलिस, gluteus maximus. Then there is a muscle, long muscle. On the upper end it is called adductor magnus. नीचे आएंगे तो adductor brevis. While longest is on the somehow on the medial side. Vastus lateralis, gluteus maximus. Then there is adductor magnus, brevis, and longus. While on the medial side there must be vastus medialis. Will repeat: vastus lateralis, gluteus maximus, adductor magnus, brevis, and longus, while vastus medialis. On below the greater trochanter, on the lateral surface below, there is another muscle called biceps femoris muscle. Just below the gluteus maximus there is a biceps femoris muscle. Okay, now we'll go to the lower part. On the lower part, on the lateral side there is a lateral head of gastrocnemius muscle. Gastrocnemius muscle has two heads, lateral and medial. On the medial side, medial intercondylar ridge, there is an insertion of medial head of gastrocnemius, while on lateral intercondylar ridge there is insertion of lateral head of gastrocnemius muscle. Just above the gastrocnemius muscle there is insertion of plantaris muscle. I will repeat: lateral head of gastrocnemius, plantaris muscle, medial head of gastrocnemius muscle. While ligament on medial condyle there is a medial ligament, while on the lateral condyle there is a lateral ligament, on medial there is a medial ligament, while as a whole there is a ligament capsule of knee joint. This is all about femur. Hope so you guys like and share.